Hello, my people. It's my pleasure being here today. Once again, Abdurrahman is my name. Uh, Quite some time now, I've been treating the topic working capital management, in which you have tends to see financially, or you can say mathematically, what working capital is. Simply put, working capital is your what? Is your net asset, net current asset rather. Working capital, it is a net current asset. If that is the case, therefore, I've been looking at the elements of this working capital, basically the element of current assets and current liability. In my last video, I treated an element of current asset, which is stock, where I discussed was stock management, where we have what? Basically two models for what? For stock management. Here we have what? The deterministic and what? And the stochastic model. We have deterministic and stochastic model. Deterministic model is that which knows what? Which knows all parameters of stock with certainty, while the stochastic model is that model which tends to do what? Attach some element of probability to what? To determine the unit of what? To the quantity of stock to hold. And therefore, the main objective of stock management, I'm just trying to recap what I've done in the last video now. The main objective of stock management is just to determine the unit of stock to hold at a particular period of time, in order not to do what? To stock out. Whether you are stock out, to do what? To not to have stock at hand, so that your customers are able to do what? To have to see goods to buy when they come for it. And also, you also have what? You're able to determine the level of stock you should carry in order not to do what? In order to minimize both the carrying cost and the water and the ordering cost. Alright, now today I'm looking at another element of current asset, which is what? Which is cash management. So I'm looking at the topic today, cash management. And at the end of this this note, this explanation, I'm going to solve the question in order to see how it behaves, how we see. Alright, now the cash management model attempts to determine the minimum balance that will be adequate to meet the firm's cash need. Just like we have it under stock management. Stock management is just to determine the level of stock, the quantity of stock to carry at a particular period of time in order to do what? To minimize both ordering and carrying costs. Because we should not forget that our main objective in financial management is to do what? Is to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. And how can we maximize the wealth of the shareholders, or the wealth of the stakeholders anyhow? How can we maximize the wealth of the shareholders in particular? Is by doing what? Is by reducing costs. When you reduce your costs, definitely you are going to maximize what? The benefit, the wealth of the wealth of the shareholders. But therefore, cash management is also tends to do what? To determine the minimum balance that will be adequate to meet the firm's cash need. What is the firm cash need? That is the cash that you need to hold in order to do what? To keep running the organization, just to finance operating expenses, buying and selling, buying of items you need in the company, and stuff like that. So these are the level of cash in which the company must hold. You know, we have what? Also the reason for holding cash. We have speculative reasons. We have transactional reasons. We have what? I think the third one there. We have three reasons for precautionary. Okay, yes, transactional motive, precautionary motive, and speculative motive. Yes, these are the three reasons for carrying cash, for holding cash. So therefore, in order to meet all these needs, you need to do what? You need to have cash. So how do we now determine the optimum cash level to do what? To have in at a particular period of time in the company? So therefore, we have two models that tends to explain the optimal cash level we should have in the company at a particular period of time. We have the models as well, the Baumol cash model, cash management model, and the Miller-Orr model. So in this video, I'm going to treat the Baumol cash management model, and I'm going to do a soft question on the Baumol cash management model. In the next video, I'm going to treat this Miller-Orr model, in which I'm also going to solve questions in order to exemplify what I'm talking about and to see how these things behave. Okay, so looking at the Baumol cash management model, is adapted from the inventory control model. Yes, the Baumol cash management model also uses the formula similar to that of the stock model under the deterministic model, which basically is economic under quantity model. You know, we have the deterministic model under stock management, in which the formula that we use under the deterministic is the economic under quantity. But therefore, this Baumol cash model also is adapted from the inventory control model, which you are making reference to the deterministic model. Okay, this model assumes that stock is made up of two elements, cash and marketable security. Cash and marketable security, that is to say, I'm making reference to stock. And this stock is made up of two models, making reference to the inventory control model. That stock is made up of two elements, which are cash and marketable security. Cash and marketable security. So under the Baumol model, we are basically looking at our cash and marketable security. It means to say that why are they making reference to cash and marketable security? Simply that when there is need for cash, you do you dispose your marketable security in order to replenish, to bring back the cash level to that to optimal level, in which we tend to do to maintain for the company, which it tends to do to minimize the cost and to hold the carrying cost and opportunity cost of cash. And also we are having excess cash. In order to bring it down to the cash level, to the optimal cash level, we have to invest in marketable security. So it's flow within cash and marketable security to determine the optimal level of cash. So what are the other assumptions? We also have other assumptions under the Baumol cash management model. The other assumptions are payments are certain and steady over time. The payments are certain, that is to say, you know that you're going to make this payment at this particular period of time, and steady and certain, payments are certain and steady over time. That is, you can determine, meaning that you can determine the payment that you're going to make over a period of time. You can say with fact. Okay. B. Only transaction demand for cash is relevant. Only transaction demand for cash is relevant. So therefore, meaning that any other transaction that does not involve cash movement is irrelevant in this situation. Only transaction demand for cash is relevant. Okay, there are no other cash receipts except from the sale of marketable security. It is assumed using the Baumol cash management model that there is no inflow of cash except from from marketable security. That is to say, you cannot get cash to finance to meet the needs of the organization except from selling marketable security. Anyway, from there, therefore, we can tend to see to see some deficiencies of this model. But therefore, even with that, it still goes a long way in determining the optimal cash model. So this is what Baumol cash management model, and the assumption that is being made to do to arrive at an optimal cash model, optimal cash to hold for a certain period of time. All right. So having said this, let's quickly look at the formula for computing the optimal cash to carry at a particular period of time, over a time. So by that, therefore, let's look at the question where you are going to do what we are going to solve to see how it behaves. So we can see this now. Just permit me to rub up this in order, because of the space constraint, so that I can come with this question, and let's see how it's going to look like. So now looking at the optimal cash, the formula to use is this. But the ball is still wet. I'm sorry, let me have something to wipe off the board. Clearly. Okay, this is dry. Now, optimal cash formula. Is calculated as 2 BM, calculated as what? 2 BM all over I. Where 2 is constant, B, where B is equal to, B is determined, is defined to be what? Cost each time marketable security are sold to replenish cash. Cost incurred where M is taken to be the total amount of cash payment in the year. Where M is taken to be what? Total amount of cash payment. Okay, why I is taken to be the interest opportunity cost of fund, that is interest rate. I is equal to opportunity cost of fund that is interest rate. Now, as you can see, this formula is also look like what? That of what? Of EOQ, economic order quantity under stock management. That is why you said what? This formula is adapted from what? From stock management control model, stock model, which is what basically you are referring to what? To EOQ. Now, this is the formula. 2 is 2 constant. B is what? To cost incurred each time marketable security are sold to replenish cash. You have to incur some administrative cost. So therefore, that cost attached to it is what? Is determined as what? Is represented by B. While M is what? Total amount of cash payment in the year. Mark you, this M must be what? To total cash payment in the year. If you are given cash payment on a monthly basis, you have to do what, to aggregate it. You are giving for 1 month, it means you are going to multiply it, what, multiply the cash payment given for you for 1 month, multiply it by 12 in order to have what, for a whole complete year. Meaning that the cash payment you must have here must be a what, a yearly payment. It must be what, the total cash payment for the year, not monthly payment, not a month payment. Okay, and high is what, is the opportunity cost of fund. What is the opportunity cost of fund we are talking about here? The opportunity cost of fund is what, is the alternative for loan. It is what, is the opportunity cost there is what, is the interest you should have what, to receive, assume that you invest that fund in another venture. What am I saying? What do I mean by that? Take for example, that cash that you have in your company, that you are holding in your company to be used to do or to finance some operations in the company, that cash can also be invested somewhere in which is going to give you or give you back certain return. So that return that you have forgone is what we call what, the opportunity cost of fund. Okay? Okay, if that is the case, therefore, let's now look at a question in order to exemplify what I've been talking about here, what I'm talking about here. Let's take for example that a company, now you can see, we have seen the formula correctly now, and we have seen but I'm looking at the space here. So we haven't seen the formula and this. So let me wrap up here. So I'm going to start my question here and have my solution there too. Okay, we have this already in place. You can just copy it somewhere so that you can make reference to it. Now let's take for example now. A company has a total cash payment $12.6 million. Opportunity cost of fund is 8%. And that fixed cost of replenishing calculate the optimal Okay, this is the example, this is the question now. A company has a total cash payment over the period of one of 12.6 million. That is, the cash payment in need over the period is 12.6 million. Opportunity cost of fund is 8%, and that the fixed cost of replenishing cash each time marketable security as sold is 200 naira. Calculate the optimal amount of cash for each replenishment. Calculate the optimal amount of cash for each replenishment. Now, so the optimal cash, which we can represent as Q, is equal to, using the formula there, 2 is constant, 2 multiplied by, what do we define our B to be? Our B is the cost incurred anytime marketable security is being sold. Anytime marketable securities are being sold is the represented by what? By this. Our M. So anytime marketable security is being sold, you have it, please my marker. So by 200 multiplied by M, that is what the total, the fund needed for the year, total payment for the year. That's 12.6, 12,600,000. So these are just mere representation. You can represent with any variables you like, just like A, B, C, any variables you like anyway. So all over I is represented with what? With interest. So what is the opportunity cost? We said the interest is what? Is opportunity cost. The opportunity cost in this question is 8%. 8%. Okay, how do we now determine that? So by this, therefore, let's work it out. Is equal to, let's multiply. Let's work it out. 2 times 200 multiplied by 12.6. Okay, let me just do it direct. Okay. 5,040. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Divided by 0.08. This one will now give us what is. So divided by 0.08. Okay. Now when you now divide this by 0.08, the answer you are going to see there is you are going to see something like this, 6.3. Hope you can see it from what I'm writing here. When you divide this 5 billion and 40 million. 5 billion 40 million. Divided by 0.08, the answer you are going to have, when you divide this by this, the answer you are going to have will be what? 6.3 exponential E10. What does this mean? How are you going to interpret this? This is the value you are going to see. This is the answer you are going to see when you multiply 5 billion and 40 million. When you divide it by what? By 0.08, you are going to have this. What does it imply? How are you going to convert it to the figure you know? What this one is simply telling us is that you are going to shift this decimal point in 10 places. Yeah, you should shift this decimal point in 10 places. So therefore, 6 So we are shifting now. We have it what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It means shift the decimal point in 10 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So therefore, you have your 3 here. 3. The remaining one you use, you fill it with 12 is 0. So remaining shift you fill it is 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So meaning that what you are going to have here is what to 6, 3. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now start to put your comma there. So you have 63. You have what? 63 what? How many is it billion? 1, 2, 3. 63 billion. Okay. So what is now the square root of this 63 billion? We will have it to be what? What is the square root of it? Square root. So let's work it out. We have what is equal to, you have it to be 250,000, 250, 998. So this is the optimal cash to do what to have at any particular time period, at any particular period of time. So you understand this, how I've gotten this. So this is how to solve it. If you have 9 here, this you should shift the decimal point 9 places. If you have, so as the case may be, that's what it implies. So by that, therefore, you look for the square root and you have your answer. So this is the optimal cash that you are required to do what to hold at a particular period of time. Meaning that you must not hold more than this cash at a particular period, and it must not fall below this. So meaning that if you now have excess cash above this, if you have cash above this that is more than this, it means that you should do what to, you should buy marketable security in order to reduce, to bring down the what, your value, in order to bring down the value of cash, the cash you are holding back to the what, to the optimal level. And if the cash has dropped below this value, it means that what you should sell marketable security in order to do what, to bring it back to this what, to its optimal level. So by that, therefore, that is what we mean by what, by calculating what the optimal level, using the what, using the Baumol cash management model. So the interpretation of this you are seeing on the board now. How do you now interpret this? So the interpretation of this is that the firm will sell marketable security worth 250,998 each time replenishment. Each time it replenishes cash, just as what I've explained earlier. So at the end of the day, it will now translate to an average cash holding to what, to cash balance of what, 125,499. How do I get the average? The average is just what, bringing what, just have what, the average of this. That is to say, the optimal, the lowest must have. This is the highest must have. The lowest must have is what? Is 0. You now have 0 and this together divided by 2. You have what, the average, which is what, the average that you must be having is what, the average of what, the cash to hold is what, this divided by 2. Meaning that this plus 0 divided by 2 will give you what, give us the average. So when you have to calculate the optimal cash to hold using the Baumol model, this is exactly what you are being asked to hold. Once again, it means that what this is optimal. It's not optimal. You should not go below. You should not go above. That's what we mean by optimal. When it has eventually now come below, it means what, you should sell marketable security in order to bring the value back. And this low is more than this. If you are holding cash that is more than this, it means what, you should buy marketable security in order to bring the cash back to its optimal level. So at this point, that is exactly what you are talking about when you are talking about what, cash management model using the Baumol model. So if you now see that what the annual cash that we talked about here is what? Is 12.6. 12.6. If you now want to calculate what will now be the cash that want to divide it evenly during the year. To divide this cash evenly during the year, it means that we are going to need evenly during the year. It means that what on a monthly basis you are going to need what 12.6 divided by 12. That is going to give us what the cash needed on a monthly basis. So having said that, so the cash on a monthly basis that we are going to need on a monthly basis is what? Cash needed on a monthly basis, monthly cash. Monthly cash will now be equals to what? 12.6. Because 12.6 is the yearly cash payment divided by 12. It's going to give a what? It's going to give us, let's see. Okay, monthly cash payment is what? Monthly cash payment is what? 1,050,050. Okay, naira. We have this monthly, meaning that you have now seen that this is the monthly cash. So how many times? The question now goes further. That how many times do we now need to replenish cash in a what? In a month. Now we have the optimal cash, which is what? Which is this. Meaning that for that you now know the number of times to replenish cash in a month, it means we have to divide this value by what? By the optimal cash that we need, the optimal cash that we need to hold, which is what? Divided by 250,998. Giving us an approximation of what? An approximate of what? So number of times to hold cash. Number of cash that the cash will be replenished. Number of times. Number of times to replenish cash. Will be equals to what? The monthly cash divided by what? The optimal cash to hold. Which is what? 1050 divided by 250,998, which is giving us what? Approximately 4. Okay, we have 4.18. Is what? Approximately what? 4 times. Meaning that we are going to replenish cash 4 times in a month. 4 times in a month. Replenish cash in a number of times to replenish cash in a month. So to give us what? This is our monthly and this is the optimal cash flow. It means we have to do what? Replenish cash 4 times in a month. So that is the interpretation. Ordinarily, there has to do what to calculate the optimal cash using the Baumol model. This is exactly what you have to calculate. See it here. Because we now want to determine the monthly cash to have, that is, we now divide it evenly over the month, over the period. That is the yearly cash that we need. We need this for the year. 12.6 divided by 2 is the monthly. So in a month, how many times do we now need to do what? To replenish cash in order not to do what? To fall below or fall short or what? Fall above or go above or below this optimal cash. So means what? The monthly divided by what? By the optimal. So meaning that we have to do what? Replenish cash 4 times in a year. So having said this, we have seen how this behave. So we have seen how this behave 4 times in a month. That is to say, by implication, that is what? On a weekly basis. So we have seen how this behave. In my next video, I'm going to treat what? The Miller-Orr Model. We'll now see how they have given their own formulas for calculating the optimal, how they have given their own view in their own model on how to calculate the optimal cash to hold at a particular period of time. So thanks for listening, and I'm very grateful for your time. Also, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I'm very glad you just click on the subscribe button showing on your screen. Just click on the red subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and besides, more importantly, if you have any question or any comment or anything you want me to say, no matter how to improve this channel and stuff like that, anything you need to say at all, just go to the comment section, put in your comment, and I'll be glad to do what? To respond to your comment appropriately. Thanks for your time, for watching. Thanks and God bless. Till I see you next in the next video. Thank you. Okay, let me try to adjust the screen. I don't know if you can capture this area, but let me see my screen. Let me see my screen so that you can grab everything I've done underneath. So that you can grab everything I've done underneath. Okay. So after the calculation of 250,000, which is the optimal cash, I now went further to see what the monthly cash will be, which is what? 12.6 million divided by 12, meaning that, we said the 12.6 is for the year, and to now see how much we need for each of the months, we now tend to divide it by 12, whereby we are having what? 1,050,000 naira there. So what I've done next is what? Is to see the number of times you are going to replenish cash in a month. So having ascertained the cash payment for a month, is now left for us to see how many times are we going to do or replenish in order not to carry more than the optimal cash, in order not to do what? Carry below the optimal cash. What did I do there? I only divided the monthly cash by the optimal cash limit, by optimal cash to hold. By that, I'm having what? 1,050,000 divided by what I have as my optimal cash, which is 250,998. So having a figure of 4.18, approximately, saying 4 times. You need to replenish 4 times in a month, which is once in a week. So that's what I've done so far. So I've said it earlier, if you have not subscribed, kindly click on the subscribe button. In your comment section, if you have any question, anything at all you need to ask, or any contribution to this channel, how you can make this channel great, so just put in your comment section, and I'm going to do appreciate and get back to you as soon as possible. So thanks for listening, and God bless. Take care till we see you next time, my next video. Thank you.